Hello, friends. We're live again. This is episode, I believe, 122. We went live for 114 nights straight, and now we have not been live every night since then, but did want to go live tonight. We've got a very special topic. I want to talk about teaching your kids about crypto. And before I do that, I actually want to give a shout out to Miguel at VGX Trading. It's an apparel company. He sent me this shirt, Dogecoin to the moon. Gotta say that Dogecoin is how I got started in crypto. It's not the only thing that I'm invested in. It's not actually my largest holding at this point in time, but nonetheless, I do have to give credit to Dogecoin and the Dogecoin community for their enthusiasm, for their excitement, for their commitment to cryptocurrency. Like any group of people, there are those that maybe are a little too radical and those that are maybe not excited enough, but that's true for our Bitcoin fans, Ethereum, you name it. Everyone has their personal preferences. I, again, have to give Dogecoin the credit for being the first crypto that I invested in. That's been early March. I've since then put into my portfolio Bitcoin, Ethereum, VeChain, Matic, Cardano, Polkadot for a while, and a number of others. But I will say, now having spent 3+ months, I believe that I know more obviously than I did when I got started. And I will say, in all honesty, that many of the altcoins that I'm invested in, one of the primary reasons for those is to, profit on those and buy more Bitcoin. I do believe that Bitcoin is, at this point in time and for the foreseeable future, maybe, until cryptocurrencies have been replaced, if ever, with something else, that it is the king, if you will, the grandfather, the best store of value, the best, gold 2.0, all of that. But I want to talk about, as I mentioned, how to teach your kids about crypto. Going to talk with you, just give you short story of how I did that with my daughter actually tonight before she went to bed, just briefly while we were outside hanging out, sitting on the porch with the pool in front of us, just enjoying the evening. And I asked her today, I said, what is your favorite subject or favorite thing that you're interested in? She said, animals, science, and technology. And so later the evening after she had said that, I said, so would you like to learn some about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and wallets and so forth and so on? And she said, sure. I do want to say one other thing before we start with that, though. I want to show you VGX Trading. It's VGX, ESSEX trading.com, as you can see up on the screen here. Miguel, as I said, I'm wearing the black shirt here. Let's show you the back of it real quick. He's a big fan of Dogecoin, which I think is awesome. So you see the design here, to the moon, and then he's got $1. I really hope for everyone that's invested in Dogecoin that it at least goes to $1. I don't try to predict anymore, honestly, where it's going to go. It has struggled like a lot of coins over the last couple of days, but I do wish all the best for my friends in the Dogecoin community. And so go check out VGXtrading.com. And Miguel, I hope you get to see that we put this out there, and we'll be giving you shout outs as we go live on other occasions. So that's VGXtrading.com. Check it out. and go out on Twitter, follow them on Twitter, show them some love. They also have, I'll show you real quick, you'll have to go check it out, a 15.7, that's an interesting 15.7% discount on pre-order. So go check that out. So let's get into it, and then I'm going to also talk about this book, Price of Tomorrow, a little bit later. But as I mentioned, I was talking to my daughter tonight about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies in general. Talked to her, been teaching her a little bit about inflation, about our monetary system here in the United States, about the Federal Reserve, about central banking, all the things. And so tonight, I basically walked her through. She did all of with a little bit of, help from me, walking her through it, basically using Strike, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. The interface, well, I'm not going to show you the interface. I'm going to show you the website, but you can go to strammel.info/strike, STRIKE. If you sign up with my link, you'll get $5. I'll get $5. That's a win-win situation. So I love that. Turn on overlay here. And so you can see here where you can follow me on Facebook at Shane Trammell 1, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Shane Trammell. Definitely go get connected with me on YouTube if you're not, strammel.info/YouTube. And then I highly recommend that you go, if you don't already have a Voyager account, go sign up for the Voyager account, get $25 in Bitcoin when you fund $100 and trade with that. So $25 of free Bitcoin, not a bad deal at all. Voyager just listed Matic and the Graph, and I think IOTA. I believe those are the three. Definitely Matic, definitely Graph, and I really like the Voyager platform. So let's get back to the story about my daughter. So I recently got Strike, the app where you can send money to anyone, no fees whatsoever, anywhere in the world. Really cool. You can hook it up to your bank. I believe you can hook it up to a debit card. Free app. You can have a web extension as well. I will show you here real quick. I guess the extension. Well, no, I'm not going to do that right now. I'll show that to you later. So let me walk you through what we did. So I had her, again, Strike. Again, you can fund that, with fiat currency, with dollars. So I already had some money in there. I had already used Strike with the Blue wallet, which is a Bitcoin wallet where you can have a custodial wallet, your own custody, and then the Lightning wallet is the custody is with Blue wallet. So I walked her through a couple of scenarios where, one, we funded, or we basically created a sub wallet. I'll call it that, a wallet for her that she can call her own and look, watch it over time, see as it hopefully increases in value, but at times it will obviously go down in value. Let her kind of experience that. But we took Strike. I put 17 cents in her, I think that was 510, it was 510 Satoshis into her Lightning wallet. And then I also showed her how to refill her Lightning wallet from a standard wallet on Blue wallet. Now, the cool thing about Lightning, so you need to check that out if you're not familiar with the Lightning protocol. I guess it's kind of like a side chain or a layer 2, native layer 2 solution for Bitcoin, where you can very cheaply and very fast basically give someone or send someone else, either send or receive Bitcoin. It's really cool. It's really fast. We're talking about seconds, whereas if you're doing, I guess, on-chain, if you want to think of it that way, on the main Bitcoin chain, you're talking 10, 15 minutes, maybe upwards to 30 minutes before your transaction goes through, and you're going to pay a little bit more in fees. So what a lot of people do is they'll fund or put their Bitcoin in the Lightning wallet first, keep that fairly a small amount, and then if it is built up over time, they'll then transfer that into their standard Bitcoin wallet. Both of those, again, the standard wallet and the Lightning wallet, are all on this Blue Wallet app. I have mine on the iPhone. You can get it on an Android, and I don't think there's an extension right now. So what we did is, again, Strike. We took fiat and basically purchased Bitcoin. That's the other cool thing you can do with Strike. You can actually purchase Bitcoin and then send it to your Blue Wallet. Now, Blue Wallet's not the only one that you can use. It is the one it's one of two that Strike recommends. So I went with Blue Wallet. Seen a lot of good things about it. So I'll show you that real quick. If we go here, you can see that here is the Blue Wallet link. So it's bluewallet.io. And as you can see, you can download the iOS version or the Android version. What do you get? A lot of cool things. One of the interesting things you can do is a watch-only wallet, where you have that along with a hard wallet, and it just allows you to be able to keep up with kind of on your phone the transactions that you've got in your hard wallet. So that's pretty cool. Multi-sig vaults, the best security available for Bitcoin. Create wallets with multiple keys. Lightning wallets, as I mentioned. Transactions control. You can create Lightning invoices, basically. Plausible deniability is a really interesting thing where you can create a fake wallet with, I think, even a little bit of money in it. So if someone is, holding you under duress, you can give them the information that they are saying they want, and hopefully they'll just go on at that point. You can get notifications, a lot of other features. You can also subscribe to their direct mail updates. You can follow them on Twitter, on Telegram, GitHub. This is a open source solution, so you can also do that. They do have a desktop app, I guess. Well, it's for Mac OS only. I remember that now, so that's pretty cool. If you have Mac, that is. And I guess even Apple Watch, which is pretty cool, actually. Maybe that's one reason to have an Apple Watch. I don't know. So that is the wallet part of it. I'm not going to actually demonstrate all this tonight, but I want you to understand kind of the flow. And again, I showed my, I'll just say my daughter that's not a teenager yet. I'll just leave it at that. Not even a teenager. Showed her how to do this, and trying to, again, introduce her to crypto. Now, if we go to Strike, so if you go to strammel.info/strike, as I said, you'll get $5. I'll get $5 as well, so it's a win-win for both of us. Send money instantly with no fees anywhere in the world. I could talk for an hour about the founder of this organization. He apparently has worked with El Salvador, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute as well. So hang tight. I've got a lot of things actually that I want to share tonight above and beyond teaching your kids about crypto. So hang with me. I know you'll want to hear about the other things that I want to kind of cover tonight. But back to Strike. You can download iOS, Android, and a Chrome extension. I'll just briefly show you. It's going to pop up here, the Chrome extension. And I'm going to turn picture-in-picture off for a minute so you can see it's a really dark interface. So you're not going to be able to see much there, but you can see kind of my home page there, if you will. So I'm going to turn that off. Picture-in-picture back on. There we go. So that is Strike. So if you download Stripe, get that set up, get Blue Wallet set up, you can basically either then create an invoice on Lightning for a specific amount, and then you go to Strike and you hit pay, and then you cut and paste that invoice into the Strike screen, and you're set. 3 seconds or less. I'll have to do another video or actually show you all of the transactions, if you will, but in 3 seconds or less. If you do the Lightning protocol, you have purchased Bitcoin, or if you're using the Blue Wallet app on its own, if you already have Bitcoin and want to send it to someone or request it from someone, you can use the Blue Wallet to do that, and it's really cool. So bottom line, showed my daughter how to use Strike, showed my daughter how to use the Blue Wallet, and now we have a mechanism where she can watch as hopefully her Bitcoin, her 510 Satoshis, will appreciate over time. From a dollar perspective, like I said, that was about 17 cents. So I explained to her, maybe you'll wake up tomorrow and that'll be worth 20 cents. Maybe it'll be worth, 28, 29 cents. Maybe it will be worth 15. It is going to ebb and flow. But I do want to actually mention something, since we're talking about that I think is very related. I want to pull up this, and I am going to turn off all these other things here so that you can see it. This is a chart that shows asset classes, total return on, about the top 20 or so asset classes over the last 10 years. Spoiler alert, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger, and let's scroll it over here. This is actually in a Word document, and I'll try to make this to where you can see most of it. But over the last 10 years, starting in 2011, year to date right now in 2021, don't know if this was completed as of 3/13, so March 13th, and I realize Bitcoin this year in 2021 has, come down from its all-time high, but the year's not, even halfway or barely halfway over. So we've got a lot of things that could still happen. But if you look at this, Bitcoin in 2011, just blew away everything else. The next closest thing is, actually these are not sorted. I would have sorted these in descending order or something like that, but 1,473% on Bitcoin. Everything else, you've got a 34% there, which is not so bad. 13% is not so bad. 18% loss. 12% loss. So that's 2011. 2012, a little bit different. You'd have to go, if you go and look at all the different cycles, obviously there are bear and bull cycles within most markets, stock market, especially cryptocurrency market. They're certainly there. And I won't go over all this, but you'll see that basically, except for 2 times, 2014 and 2018, Bitcoin, had a net downturn, pretty big, I'll be honest, 58%, 73%, but for those that, have the discipline to hold and, put it in there for the long term and not looking to do short-term trades, you can see the cumulative percent is just, what is that, 20 billion percent, if I'm looking at that right. Yep, 20 billion percent. That's crazy. 230%. Here's the amazing part, right? Though 230.6% annualized. So had you bought it back in 2011, whatever amount, and literally done nothing, you would have gotten 200%. Had you actually dollar cost averaged, it would have been interesting to have seen a dollar cost average scenario and what it would have returned. But anyway, 230.6% annualized return. I guess the sort they did was on the annualized return because these are in descending order from what I can tell. So the next best thing is the NASDAQ 100. You know, it had some pretty good years, but where Bitcoin is in the positive, it's not even remotely close, not even hardly. So, you know, bottom line, at least over the last 10 years, the last decade, Bitcoin by far is the best performing asset class probably ever known to man, generally speaking, in the modern time. We'll at least use that as our watermark. So I just thought I would share this. Really interesting. When I found this, I'm like, okay, I got to print this. I got to share this with other folks. So let's get back now to talking about a few other things that we want to cover. Again, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, DLive, Twitch, I may have already said that. Come on over to YouTube as well. That's really where we're, doing our best to build a community. We do, a number of times go live on all these different platforms. We're live on almost all of our platforms tonight, but more often than not, we go live exclusively on YouTube. So we want to ask you to come on over there and come subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like bell or that like button, whatever you want to call it, the thumbs up. And also, if you're watching in the replay, share with us in the comments. I'd be curious to know if you have talked to any of your kids, if you have kids, or maybe your grandkids, if you've kind of started introducing them to Bitcoin, maybe Dogecoin for you, cryptocurrency generally speaking, what it is, why someone would be interested in it, what is inflation, what's deflation, and I'm going to talk about deflation here in a second by way of a book that I want to recommend. I've got the Audible. I'm like, okay, I got to have the book as well. I'm going to be going on vacation, although I could listen to it on my phone. I'm still a very analog person as well. So I want to talk about that book briefly. And to that end, let me pull it up and I'm going to show this to you. So what we have here is the price of tomorrow. Why deflation is the key to an abundant future. I listened to Jeff Brown as the author on a Pomp episode, podcast, video podcast. I've seen him now on a couple of other shows. Now that I actually know who he is, started listening to the Audible, and it's an amazing book. He is not an economist by trade, if you will, but you would never know that if you didn't know what his background was, that he wasn't an economist. He basically just decided he needed to look into this, and I'm just telling you, it's excellent. So if you go to strammel.info/price of tomorrow, and it's in the description, in the if you're on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description, but strammel.info/price of tomorrow. Obviously that it helps me a little bit. If you're interested in this book, use my link. It helps. We do have an affiliate link with Amazon. So got a lot of good, tools, if you will, things that if you're into crypto at all, that you'll want to look at with the links in our description. Voyager is one of those. You saw I Trust Capital. You can get an IRA and trade, and trade your Dogecoin if you want, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a ton of others. Trade them tax-free, not tax-deferred. You could do tax-deferred, but why? If you go with a Roth IRA, you can trade them tax-free. So imagine Bitcoin doubling, going 2x, 3x, 4x, whatever, and all of that tax-free when you start taking that out. So that's really cool as well. So go check that out. Want to also just go through my Twitter feed and talk about a few things which are really kind of cool. So we're actually going to go back to this one more time. And I'm going to rapidly go through some of these because my screen has already refreshed. But one of the biggest things that came out over the weekend at the Bitcoin 2021 conference in Miami was that the El Salvador president was going to be proposing a bill to his Congress to basically make Bitcoin legal tender, and truly in the sense of what you would think of as legal tender, that being if anyone technically able to receive Bitcoin would have to receive Bitcoin for goods and services, but those Bitcoin could be immediately converted into U.S. dollars. El Salvador uses the U.S. dollar as their currency, and so I'm not 100% certain, but maybe they're using the Zap technology to do that. I'm not exactly sure, but I know they will have an automated way to do that, similar to what BitPay can do, but it's not BitPay. I'm almost positive it's the Zap technology. That's the same company that created the app Strike. I apologize to the creator of Strike. He's very passionate about his creation, and I think it's awesome. But anyway, as you can see, and by the way, my hope is Mark Moss is an amazing YouTuber that talks about a lot of things with regards to crypto, Bitcoin for sure, and others. But my hope is that we're going to have him on soon. I reached out to him today on Twitter, and he did come back with an email, so I've already contacted him via email. So my hope is that we're going to be able to bring him on our show, and so I definitely want you to go check out Mark Moss, and he's at one Mark Moss. But here's his tweet of it. It says, the president of El Salvador just called out the central banks for creating the problems and said that El Salvador adopting Bitcoin will be an example for the world. This is history in the making. And it actually, from what I saw, actually passed. And so here is Nathaniel Whitmore. Also, Nathaniel has an amazing podcast every day. It's on YouTube, but it's audio only. I just retweeted that, so definitely come follow me at Shane Trammell on Twitter, because you will definitely not want to miss some of the things that I retweet. I retweet a lot. I'm not as creative as maybe I should be on Twitter, but I try to share all the things that my community would be interested in with regards to crypto, investing, that type of thing. But he says, don't even need to do a show tomorrow because all of my listeners are here live. El Salvadoran president is discussing the country's possibility of mining Bitcoin. Interesting. Using energy from volcanoes. It's truly amazing. Listening in real time to Nay Buckle, which I'm not sure, talking about Bitcoin and how it creates a better future. Let's actually look at this real quick. Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Duh. The president himself. I'm going to have to go back and watch that, I guess, because can't do that right now. Actually, it's on Twitter Spaces, so I have to go check that out. Okay, so let's scroll through a few more here. Yep, there's the, don't know if it's in English or not, but the Twitter Spaces. Okay, so let's go a little bit more historic for Bitcoin, historic for the internet, historic for media, historic for global politics. Just a seminal moment. And here we go on Cointelegraph. Bitcoin will become legal tender in El Salvador by tomorrow after President Nayib Bukele said he was confident his Bitcoin law would pass tonight. It's coming up to midnight in the country. I believe it's already passed. I read earlier that it had. So truly incredible. Paraguay, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Paraguay and a number of other countries, Guatemala, I believe. I'm trying to think what some of the others are, but a number of others. Okay, here we go. El Salvador is not only a country anymore, it's a symbol, okay, of what Bitcoin can do. So the reason this is, let's read one more here because Pomp, again, you need to go check him out. El Salvador's president just said he believes the country's adoption of Bitcoin will lead to more opportunity for citizens, which should reduce the number of people leaving the country and illegally immigrating to the United States. This is good for the U.S. So in a number of ways, it's good for the U.S., and I'm just going to switch off of Twitter here now. It would be amazing in many ways if the United States would accept Bitcoin as legal tender. While I don't think that is necessary, or we may or may not even want it, I've not thought it through fully, but what I do know is that if it were like El Salvador, for example, where it could be used as money, not legal tender maybe necessarily here, but used as money and treated like they're going to treat Bitcoin in El Salvador, no capital gains, which is just incredible, amazing. They've actually said, hey, those that are Bitcoin adopters, you can have basically immediate citizenship. Now, as a U.S. citizen, that honestly doesn't interest me. I love what they're doing. I'm happy to be an American, honestly. We have our problems, but I do believe that the United States is still the best country in the world. But yes, we have our problems. Federal Reserve, central banks around the world, all of that, our monetary policy needs to change. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin probably has the best chance of making that happen, or at least putting in the hands of the people a way to opt out. So I highly recommend, or I should say, my opinion is, because this is not financial advice, my opinion is that everyone own all of the altcoins, and I don't use that term in a derogatory way at all. It's just the reference that's used. Some use it in a demeaning way. I don't have any reason to do that. I can express my sincere opinion that Bitcoin is the best store of value. If anything should be the world reserve currency, probably should be Bitcoin, all those kind of things. And that leaves plenty of room, though, for altcoins, in my opinion, for a number of different reasons, which we're not going to go into tonight. I only say that because I truly think that my audience is mixed in some ways, between those that hate Bitcoin, love Doge, those that love Bitcoin, hate Doge. Did I say it backwards? Or love Doge, hate Bitcoin. And then, my hope is that more of us are of the mindset that there's room for both of them. But I think Bitcoin, if I was only going to own one of the two, it would definitely be Bitcoin. As fun as Dogecoin is, I do believe that Bitcoin will continue to be that force that could help us survive an eventual catastrophic event with the money system that we have here in the United States, maybe similar to what's happening all over around the world. China is actually working on offering some of their, basically their central bank cryptocurrency or digital currency. So CBD, central bank, DC, CBDC, central bank digital currency. They're actually trying to, recruit people to basically sign up for receiving some of that for free as a test. Now, the problem is going to be the IMF. I'm not going to talk about this long, but the IMF would love to have a single currency that they controlled, a digital currency. China will have theirs, I'm sure. It's inevitable. It's even a greater way to be able to control, right, to track, to determine what you can use your money for, what you can't use it for. There's already a number of controls in China, other parts of the world. America, United States is not immune from that possibility. I can guarantee you it's already something that the United States is looking into with regards to a digital, central bank digital currency. Obviously we would hope in the United States, we'd like to think that we're free. We like to think that it's really not a democracy, although people use that term, a republic. But, we are obviously susceptible, like any other country, to abuse, control, overreach. All those things already happen today. So we just got to be mindful of that. And so I highly recommend that you look into starting to build up your wallet with Bitcoin, among others. I personally invest in a number of the altcoins, looking to profit enough where I can buy more Bitcoin, more than any of the others. I will keep, I'm sure, a number of the altcoins until it becomes obvious, if it ever does. The maximalist, I don't consider myself a Bitcoin maximalist, but I sympathize and adhere to and accept a lot of their ideas and thoughts with regards to the role that Bitcoin should and hopefully will play on the world stage, quote unquote. Something I tweeted out or I put it on Facebook, one or the other, because I'm, as a Christian, and this will you'll understand why I mention this here in a moment. As a Christian, I think it's going to be natural that some of my audience is going to come and follow me because they know me. They'll know that I'm a Christian. I wanted them to know that I honestly don't think that Bitcoin is by no means is the potential one world currency, that we read about and hear about in the Bible and all of that. If anything, something like the IMF trying to have a single currency that's centralized, a currency that's going to be the one world currency will be centralized. That's the exact opposite of what Bitcoin is. Although Bitcoin, has been, I guess, there's been more hash power in China at times, but of course they're pushing their miners out, so that will help, push even more hash power throughout the world, those type of things. But nonetheless, it's still decentralized. There's still thousands of nodes out there to validate. So Bitcoin is not the even the precursor to a, one world currency. Now, these central bank digital currencies are precursors in my mind to something that could be a single currency where you have to use that currency to buy and sell goods and services. Now, people will, I guess I should say when that comes to be, I'm sure for a period of time people will barter and use whatever they can, but that will be very, very difficult. If I'm here when that happens, I'm not looking forward to that. But nonetheless, I just want to make sure that it's clear to my audience. By no means do I believe, and that's why I'm actually so passionate after having spent about 3 months learning it all. That's why I'm actually quite passionate about Bitcoin and how it can at least delay that inevitability of a one world currency. I think that's on the trajectory. It's coming. I just don't know when, don't know how, don't know all of the events that will lead up to it. But since I don't know that, the next best thing I can do is, try to prepare for, probably the eventual crash, if you will call it that, of not only the U.S. dollar in some ways, not because I want it to, but because that's the trajectory that we're on. I mean, the federal government, Federal Reserve, central bank here in the United States can only continue to print money so long. That's the only thing that they know how to do. But at some point, inflation is going to get so crazy that there's going to be revolt. There's going to be, who knows what's going to happen. But the one thing I can tell you that I'm certain of, based upon, now listening to a lot of other people that are smarter than me, share their economic, perspective, we're, very likely in a 15 to 20% inflation rate. The other interesting thing that John Booth talks about in the videos that I've seen him in, and he talks about it, I believe, in his book, he's like, we normally start, when we think about inflation, talking about starting at zero, but his whole thesis in the book is the fact that as a society with technology, we should be experiencing deflation, which means that actually we should be, with technology, spending less time at traditional work, not because we would be lazy. Hopefully we'd be using that time to contribute, helping other people less fortunate, doing philanthropic activity, even as average people. It wouldn't be left up to the billionaires that, in my opinion, this will be maybe a controversial opinion, or one where people will think you're just jealous, and that's by no means the case. But I think a number of billionaires are philanthropic more so to detract from, or to keep all their other indiscretions, if you will, out of the limelight. For example, Elon Musk is probably in many ways a billionaire because, of his stock in Tesla, and Tesla would be nothing if it wasn't for the subsidies that they get. So we just need to be intellectually honest about that. And I'm not actually so happy about the fact that my tax dollars basically contributes to Elon Musk enjoying what comes with being a billionaire. It has nothing to do with jealousy. It has everything to do with, I don't want my money going to support his billionaire lifestyle. I want him to earn it fully and completely in a free market economy. It's not a free market economy when, our government is giving them subsidies, just like wind energy, highly subsidized. I know for a fact, and I'll just say that I know that a lot of these, wind turbine companies if they're not getting subsidies from the government, they go under. There's been a number of them that have gone under because of subsidies for one reason or another. Maybe they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing, but those subsidies went away. And guess what happened to the company? They went away as well. So, I guess that's where we're going to leave it tonight, most likely. Just want to, ask you, if you're watching either live or the replay, again, come and subscribe on YouTube at Shane or strammel.info/YouTube. Subscribe, turn on the notification, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the chat here or in the comments. And as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I've got what I think are some really cool plans. I'm going to be having the guys from I Trust Capital on. As I mentioned, I'm going to have a number of other guests come on as well. I've got some really good things lined up. I will not apologize, but say, or just be transparent and say my schedule can be difficult with regards to when I go live. I actually found last week that going live, last week going live during the day, much better, many more people watching, all of that, which would be a dream. But I've got to do what I got to do. Got a regular job like many of you do. Do supply chain management. That's why VChain, if you want to look them up, is a really interesting project to me, because that's their primary focus is on supply chain. Let's actually look before I close it out. Let's kind of cover a little bit of the news, if I can call it that. So let's look at coin market cap. I'm going to refresh the screen here. Of course, Bitcoin is still on top, but its market cap, of course, is way down. The total market cap is 1.5 trillion. It's been in the 1.6, 1.7 earlier in the week and last week. Of course, I think most of you know today was a pretty crazy day. Bitcoin was down for a brief moment at 29. Let me do one other thing here. Well, I'll go back to that in a minute. So Bitcoin still at the top, but market cap 627 billion, 46 billion in volume today, which actually today was quite high compared to the previous 2 days. Excuse me. Ethereum still number 2. It was down as low, I think, as 2,100 within the last 24-hour period. Bitcoin has actually been able to come up enough to remain in the green over 24-hour period. Ethereum still in the red. Volumes, just about 10 billion less. Market cap was about half of what Bitcoin is. It's gone down, but there are many that think that Ethereum will still flip Bitcoin as far as market cap. Doesn't mean that it will replace Bitcoin with regards to its place as far as use case. Gold 2.0, store value. The other thing, I watched a video today that was very fascinating about DeFi on Bitcoin, which most people don't hear about, but with this sovereign project, and again, I guess a side chain or a layer 2 solution native to Bitcoin, where DeFi, lending, borrowing, earning yield, the in essence the equivalent of staking, all of those kind of things that you decentralized exchange, all of that on Bitcoin. So something you should look into. Maybe we'll do another episode on that another day. Tether, don't really focus too much on the stable coins. Binance coin is not a stable coin. It has been number 3 most of the time, but this is down considerably to where it has been, but year to date it's still actually doing quite well. year-to-date, Bitcoin not doing so good, Ethereum doing better as far as year-to-date. So got a lot of the year left to go, though. Cardano, number 5. It's up on the day, but on the 7-day period, it's down $1.54. If you're into Cardano, if you really believe in what they're doing and what they promise to be able to do, that's something you need to look into. Dogecoin, 32. It's down 14% over the 7-day period. It has not done so well, at least over the last week. But, it's hard to say much bad about year-to-date. Nonetheless, year-to-date, that was, I guess if we go back to January, I don't know, it was probably under a penny at that point in time. So obviously under a penny, and if it's now 32, it's going to do really, really well. XRP still in the top 10, down considerably. It had gone over $1. A lot of people, I think, believe that XRP is basically going to, quote unquote, win their battle with the SEC, or at least come out having to pay a fine and everything goes back to the way it was. So XRP is likely to go up considerably once they come out and say that they've won. Another stablecoin, USDC, Polkadot, up a little bit today, but down 11% over the last 7 days. A lot of your well-known altcoins are definitely down over a 7-day period. Uniswap down. Solana, look at this though, 15%. I don't know how it has been able to weather basically a downtrend and everything else, but it has. Pretty impressive, 16%. This would have been the place to put some money in maybe today. Or I take it back, maybe some of these others that were down, assuming that midweek, well, tomorrow's technically midweek. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Thursday hopefully would be a good day. The weekends are typically not so great. I missed a really good opportunity on VGX, which is the native token for the Voyager platform. I'm not going to show that on CoinMarketCap. Well, I'll scroll and maybe see it, but there's a lot of people that are saying that that's going to go to 30 to 35 before the end of the year, and it's at about $2.30. I will bring it up here in a minute before we close this down. You definitely need to look at, in my opinion, not financial advice, but in my opinion, you should look at VGX. You should go to strammel.info/Voyager, get signed up. They've got 1.65 million users on their way to 10 million with that loyalty program that they're going to have at that 10 million mark when they bring on Canada, when they bring on Europe. It's just going to be massive. It's a really easy to use platform, and that's the big draw. And not only that, as compared to literally even Coinbase or Robinhood with regards to altcoins, they've got a really good inventory, a really good selection. So Uniswap runs out the top 10, although Solana, although in number 11, is outperforming most of its peers right now over the last 7 days especially, and then look at the year-to-date, even 2,000%, which is crazy. Wow. Internet computer is at 80. I'm just so glad that I did not invest in that, because look where it started. 428 on the 11th. They rebranded. I'm trying to remember what they used to be, but $428. Lot of talk about this. They may be able to pull it off, and come back. But I know that they're struggling. So let's pull up VGX Voyager token, because I want to show you a little bit of that. So 244 right now, it was like at 211. Yeah, 212 was the low today. That would have been an amazing time to buy more. You know, my goal would be awesome to have about 5,000 of these. I'm not anywhere close to that right now, but 5,000, and it goes to 30 a coin if it does, or 40 a token, I should say, or 30 a token. You know, we're looking at $150,000. I know you can do the math. So that's pretty amazing. Of course, it did have this period where it was up to 11. Don't know all the history of that, but as you can see, you know, it went quite a ways down, and then now it's been on a nice little run all the way up to 6. Back down. I think one of the reasons that it came down, they're doing a token swap for one. Number two, the loyalty program is on hold, waiting for them to complete the token swap. This token swap is so that they can bring in a company that they bought out of England, I believe, and that's what I believe is going to also allow them to get into Europe. Bring in a lot of things. This is not going to become a promotion of Voyager, but I do want to tell you a few things coming out with the debit card that has where you can earn, I believe it's Bitcoin back, earn money, USDC, earn interest on your money up until the point that you use it on the debit card. That's unheard of, right? I mean, where can you get a debit card in a traditional banking environment where you get 9% until you actually use part of that money? And you only have to have $100 of USDC. I believe that's the minimum, but you only have to have $100 to earn 9% interest on USDC. And if you are in the middle tier of the Voyager loyalty program, you get an extra 1%. Or if you're in that top tier, you get an extra 1.5%. So if you were in that middle tier, you're talking 10% interest on your money, annual percentage yield. And you can earn interest on a number of other assets, you know, like Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 6.25, maybe it's 5.25, which is great. We're not talking about a tiered system as much as I like BlockFi, and we have a link, by the way, for BlockFi, and you should check them out. But from what I can, you know, understand and figure out, you have much better upside potential by earning interest on your Bitcoin that you keep on Voyager now. You know, not your keys, not your coin. I get that. You know, maybe you mix it up. Maybe you have some of your Bitcoin in a software wallet or a hardware wallet of some sort, and maybe you keep some of it on something like a Voyager or a BlockFi and earn interest on it. You know, that's what I would do. I'd probably do a little of both. Don't have a full Bitcoin yet, but you don't have to have a full Bitcoin to start earning interest. So go check out Voyager. Highly, highly recommend it. And that's where we're going to leave it. So what I do want to say is come back, you know, come be a part of the next stream. Let us know what you'd like for us to talk about, and we'll try to cover it. We've got some great interviews coming up and a lot of great things to cover. You know, I know right now that crypto is down from where it has been. You know, there was a good period of time there where the altcoins were doing good while Bitcoin and Ethereum were suffering, and now, you know, generally speaking, at least most of the top altcoins are suffering right along with Bitcoin and Ethereum. At this point in time, I sent out, you know, via a retweet, what well, or as a tweet where I shared a link from Yahoo Finance where someone is calling for a 25K Bitcoin. Maybe it happens. I only share it not to send out FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I know there's a lot of that out there. Don't need any more of that. It's more just for people to evaluate and think, would you, and there's no way of knowing, but would you spend 33K on a Bitcoin if you knew in a month that you could buy it at 25? I wouldn't. And I'm, dollar cost averaging buying fractions of a Bitcoin, but if I was going to buy a whole Bitcoin, I would much rather get it at 25K. Now, even if it's down at 25K, you may want to, do something along the lines of where you buy the Bitcoin in $5,000 increments, something like that. I don't know. But Voyager, for example, I believe has a $5,000 limit, so I even need to find out how do you do that. If you're going to buy from them, if you want to buy a full Bitcoin, I don't know how you do that with a $5,000 ACH, unless you have to do multiples of those and wait for your money to build up. So I'm actually going to research that a little bit and come back with an answer on that. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream. Again, if you're watching the replay, please come back. Please share with me in the comments what you like, what you don't like about the stream. Go check out I Trust Capital. Learn how you can earn, basically let your crypto assets, your portfolio grow tax-free, not tax-deferred if you use the Roth IRA. So you can go to strammel.info/itrustcapital. Check that out. Look at the links in the description. Got a lot of good things there. We use or in the process of using everything that's there. Strike, we talked about tonight, obviously. We've been using that. The Blue Wallet, using that. BlockFi, I have some of my portfolio in BlockFi. Do have Robinhood. I've got Webull, Voyager, Gemini. I don't actually have any of, well, no, I don't. On Gemini, I do have some of my crypto on Coinbase. Another thing that's cool about Coinbase, even though they do have some higher fees at times with Coinbase, the one good thing I like about it is you can earn free crypto by kind of doing these learning sessions. And I actually earned $50 worth of crypto. I converted that. It was about 4 or 5 different crypto. I converted all of that into Matic, Polygon Matic, for free. I didn't have to pay any fees to convert it from the 4 or 5 that I earned, and all of those into Polygon. So I now have about $50 worth of Polygon that I didn't have to pay for. So that's pretty cool about Coinbase. I like what I see about Gemini. Just haven't bought any. Just don't have any of my portfolio on Gemini at this point in time. But that's probably something that will change here in the near term. But if I was going to pick any one place for me currently, it would be Voyager. It's only a app. Right now, you can only do your buying and selling on the app, but they are going to be coming out with a web interface. And again, if you're part of their if you're part of the loyalty program, you get to use the web interface for free. I don't really understand that. I'll be honest. I can't imagine you having to pay if you're not if you don't have enough VGX to be in the loyalty program. So that's another thing that I would like to understand more about. So that's all we've got for tonight. Come back again. And again, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when we go live again. We're not necessarily going live every night, although I may get back on that schedule soon. We will be going on vacation at some point here in the near future, so we won't be live every night when we are on vacation, but nonetheless, enjoy having you guys be a part of this. And until the next one, good night.